Greetings, this is Brandon of Freight Broker Alliance Logistics here. I want to welcome you to another beautiful Monday morning with Brandon, where I come and I discuss topics in reference to third-party logistics industry, the freight broker-based third-party logistics industry, every Monday morning. The purpose of that is just to share information about what it is that I'm doing as far as the Alliance Logistics is concerned, building a freight broker-based third-party logistics company. That's what I've been doing over the last 3 years. And I come here on Monday mornings and I share information about that experience, what I've learned, what I've had to do to get over certain hurdles, certain challenges that this business is definitely going to present you with. So I just come here and I share that information here in hopes of also sharing an opportunity that may help someone else discover what it is that they want to do. Because what I've realized is one of the hardest things to do is to find out what it is that you really want to do. There are a lot of different things to choose from. So I just kind of come here and share what it is that I'm doing. And some people are interested in the freight broker opportunity because they see that it's a huge opportunity. It's a very lucrative opportunity. And many people are interested in building their own business, a work from home business. And this is definitely offered within the third party logistics industry. You can build a work from home freight broker business and make as much money as you want to make. But now, of course, that's all based on value, what value you bring to the table. And that's what we talk about in this channel, becoming more valuable as freight brokers, as freight agents, as people, becoming more valuable to other people. So that's what this is all about. So with that said, what we're discussing today is contracts and agreements. Anytime we start to develop relationships with our shippers and carriers, we have contracts and agreements in place to govern that relationship. Now, I get questions often. People are asking, do I have to have a shipper agreement in place? And I understand that question because there was a time where I felt very uncomfortable with sending a shipper agreement over to a shipper to get them to sign it. And it was just a thing that I dealt with in my own mind. I felt like, the shippers wouldn't want to sign the agreement. But that's something that was in my own mind. And I had to get rid of that thinking because a shipper agreement comes as a part of your service. You should have an agreement with your shipper. That agreement is going to govern that relationship. It's going to identify to that shipper who you are, because we get ourselves in trouble a lot when we represent ourselves or misrepresent ourselves as carriers when we're truly brokers. So we don't want that to be misunderstood, and we want to lay that out in agreement, who we are and what it is that we do for our shippers. So the shipper agreement is not necessarily required by any law that I'm aware of, but it just passes the common sense test to have an agreement in place with your shipper. Let's take, for example, one full truckload of freight cost in the neighborhood of $39,000, $40,000 for one of my shipper's refrigerated loads. So you don't want to move that type of freight, that type of money up and down the highways without having an agreement, a contract in place to say, how that relationship is governed. That just passes the common sense test, because there's a whole lot of things that have to go right in order for that shipment to pick up on time and deliver on time without any damages, without any problems happening, without any accidents taking place. There's a lot that can happen. So it just passes the common sense test to have an agreement in place, a contract in place. As a matter of fact, I've never worked with a shipper that has not required me to sign an agreement before I move their freight. Because it's just the thing to do. It's the business thing to do. And you should have an agreement as well that protects your interests and the shipper's interests. So yes, you want to have a shipper's agreement in place prior to moving any loads. Now, you don't need a shipper's agreement in place when you're building that relationship, when you are building the trust within that relationship, developing the relationship. You don't need an agreement in place. As a matter of fact, that's putting the cart in front of the horse. There's no need to even mention the agreement really at that point, because now it's just about talking, developing the trust, showing that you are capable of doing what it is that you say you're doing, developing the relationship. Now, when it moves to, now it's time to move loads, now you're going to need a shipper's agreement in place, and you'll let that shipper know that you have an agreement and you would like for them to take a look at it. Of course, if you need to make any adjustments either way, if they ask for certain things to be changed, you'll take a look at it, and if it's necessary, you can make those changes. So that is what I wanted to share with you today in reference contracts and agreements. So if you're interested in receiving more information like this, you want to be in a community of people that are focused and concentrating their efforts on self-development, self-improvement, building a freight broker business, doing the things that are necessary to be better tomorrow than we are today, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, and you'll receive an update that these videos have posted every Monday morning. If you want more information about the freight broker-based third-party logistics industry, I've placed a webinar in the description box. In this webinar, you'll get detailed information about the freight broker opportunity and also about our training program, exactly what's in it, how it can benefit you. So it's going to give you a lot of information, a lot of details about the freight broker opportunity and about our program. That way you can make an informed decision on working with Alliance Logistics or deciding to work with someone else. So thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I wish you well in all that you endeavor to do. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.